and welcome back. Well, as you can see, we are back on the porch today, and there's a reason for it. For those of you that did not see my community post last week, I did not upload a video simply because I didn't have time. We were so busy. We've been very busy here the past couple of weeks, and I'm on the porch because we have finally begun phase 2 of our porch renovation. It was a little delayed because, as you know, for those of you that have watched the beginning of the summer, we were focused on getting our shed installed, built, whatever you want to call it, and getting the chickens settled in. But we started phase 2 here now, really probably about a couple of weeks ago. I will fill you in on what kind of initiated that, and it's all a good thing. But we are out here because this really is kind of where we started. Now, as I'm sure many of you have experienced yourself, projects tend to snowball from one thing to the next. Projects can be delayed, especially when you're doing them yourself. And we had both of those things happen here. So we began in the kitchen tearing out, when I say we, that's a he-we, that's Mark. So we began by tearing out the built-in desk along with the cabinet above that. That was not as easy, of course, as we had planned. It was built very well, let me just say that. So once we took that out, then came out here and cut a hole in the wall here to my left, because if you remember, our original plan was I wanted to put in a little larger window in the area where the desk was. I wanted to put in a little larger window with a window seat, and on the side have some built-in bookshelves. That didn't happen. When Mark came out here and he started cutting where we would put the window, there was a very large support beam going diagonally. It was very old. Mark did not feel safe cutting that or fooling with that. We really didn't want the house to fall down, to be quite honest. So here came plan 2. So we had to think about what else we would like to do. Now, we really wanted to add another window, 2 reasons. First of all, to give us just a little more light in the kitchen, and secondly, so that we can see better if someone pulls in the driveway or if someone's coming to the porch door, who it is, just the visibility. So we ended up going to the right of where the one window was that is out here. There was one original window. We went to the right. There was another support beam, again, very old. However, it was vertical. So Mark felt confident in being able to cut that, support it before he cut it, and then quickly get another support beam in. So it took 2 of us doing that. We did get it done. We got it done very quickly. He had everything set up. He had everything cut. And once he cut the other one out, that other beam went in probably in a matter of 2 minutes. Again, just a little nervous. This is not something we do on a daily basis. And to be quite honest, we were saying at this point, the house is probably supported much better than it was originally. And so we feel very confident there. So we put in another window to the right, kind of where my little shelf that I had for all of my coffee cups. It's that area. And I am telling you, it has made such a wonderful difference in the visibility, and it certainly has allowed a little more light into the kitchen. So a couple of days prior to Mark starting out here, I decided I wanted to repaint the kitchen. I thought, well, it's going to be torn up anyway. Now is the time to do it. I had repainted the kitchen literally days after we moved in. That has been 7 years now. And I painted it a very light yellow. I was trying to lighten it up. It was called Weston Flax. And it just didn't seem to fit with the house. So what I have done this time is I've kind of gone the opposite direction. I wanted to warm up the kitchen just a little. And I also wanted to do what is very common out here in New England. And it may be other places, you know, maybe Williamsburg, I guess in particular is what I think of, where the trim in the doors are painted a darker color and the walls a more neutral color. And that is exactly what I did. And I will be taking you in the kitchen to show you. The two colors that I chose to do, the walls I chose Benjamin Moore muslin, and then I chose historical colors, and it's called Decatur Buff. Honestly, we are loving it. When I painted the first door, I panicked a little because of course it's a chain, and it was up against that Weston Flax wall, that yellow wall. It just did not look good. But after I continued on, we both really like it. So the kitchen has gotten quite a little bit of a makeover, and I'm anxious to take you inside and show you. I want to warn you, we are not done. We still have some work to do. It takes time. Again, Mark works full time. He's had to travel a little bit, and it just puts us behind. There's only so much I can do. So let me take you inside, and I'm anxious to show you a new purchase. And that new purchase is kind of what initiated all of this. So come on, let's go inside. Okay, friends, so let's step inside the kitchen here. I have begun to put things back together slowly but surely, but I just wanted to show you what we have done. We began with paint, as I said. Let me step back here just a little bit. Okay, so this is the muslin. This is the Decatur Buff. It is showing up a little more golden on film. Unfortunately, nothing I can do about that. But we do really, really like it. Eventually, I do plan on repainting our kitchen cabinets. That obviously has not been done yet. One step at a time. We have to kind of choose our battles. As you know, it just takes time. This is the window that I told you that took a little bit of time because of the grates. Luckily, on our new windows, the grates will be coming in separately, so I can repaint those before we put them in. So I'm very happy about that. But if you recall, this here is where the built-in desk was. I apologize for the squeaky floors. Welcome to my home that's built in 1796. We have a lot of character. So we tore the desk out, and I had purchased this Hutch. Now, a quick story. The Hutch is kind of what initiated this little renovation to get going sooner than later, and we're happy about that. I purchased the Hutch off of Facebook Marketplace, and it was actually down in Massachusetts, a little ways away. But there's a funny story about this. When we picked it up, of course, I got to talking to the woman and just asked her as we were leaving, do you have any recommendations on places to maybe grab something to eat? Are there any fun shops? And she did tell me about this store. She said it's only about 15 minutes away. And the name of the shop is Primitive Thymes. She said that the woman actually lives there also, and it was an old schoolhouse. So Mark was intrigued. He said, we're this far, we might as well go. So we did go, and it was another, obviously a primitive store. It was so fun, and I ended up talking with the owner, And yes, she is very good friends with the woman that we purchased the hutch from. And the woman actually had purchased the hutch from her store. So I didn't know that prior to going. So that was kind of fun. So anyway, I did take some footage so I could share with you. I did end up purchasing this in her store. I believe that's everything. Yeah, that's the only thing here that I purchased. Let me just show you some of the things in my hutch before I continue on. This actually I had purchased recently. A man in Maine does the tin punch, and I thought it very fun. I have a few other pieces. I found that actually at a consignment store. And then here, many of you may know I used to sell that in my store. And let me see, these linen towels I love. I use them. I have one on my island too. I use them as quote unquote doilies, table runners, short table runners. I also use them as towels, which I love. I did have to eliminate my beloved cup cupboard. And so this is what I've chosen to do with some of the more special cups. These are just flowers from my yard, some of my dried cinnamon apples. So that's a little close-up of what is in the hutch. So the rest of the story. When I got home, I just had a funny feeling I had heard of this store before somewhere. So when I got home, I did look at my list. Now, my list consists of recommendations that some of you will give me in the comment section. And sure enough, Primitive Thymes was one of them. Cynthia had recommended I check the store out at some point after I had visited Bumpkins. And isn't that funny? 2 weeks later, I ended up there, not intentionally, just by chance. So for some reason, I was meant to go to this store. And they also have different events that she holds. As an example, a certain event happening in the fall, another one at Christmas time. So I may be going back. I don't know. We will see. I did also purchase this little corn husk wreath. So let's look at the other part of the kitchen that we need to finish, and that's this. We did not get to this. Mark has, obviously he works full time. He's had to do some travel. So we are going to be, that's a we, is going to be finishing out drywalling. The trim, I have already painted that. So he will need to finish that along with some more insulation. And then the grids are on order. They have not come in yet. Once they come in, I will paint those, and then we will be putting those in place. So that's it for the little bit of the kitchen reno. I will share with you once we get that completed. But we're very happy with it so far. We're loving the warmer color. It's really cozy at night. And I feel the color also kind of makes the windows pop just a little more. Okay, so let's move on, and I am going to share the footage that I took of Primitive Thymes. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me today, friends. I hope you all have a wonderful week, and we will see you next time. Bye-bye.